Namaste, angels. This is the weekly love reading for the period of today, April 26th through Saturday to come, May 2nd. We're going to get right into it. I have my Ascended Master deck here, the combination of the Animal and Angel Tarot decks here, and my Keepers of the Light Oracle over there. So with the Ascended Master deck, we're beginning with Go Now in Serapis Bay. So something that we've been maybe procrastinating on or hesitating to do, we're guided to move forward. The next card is upside down, but it is right. So that may be how we're meant to proceed, sending somebody a text or an email or writing a letter or a card. It's WRITE, right? But I'm also hearing like right or wrong, like RIGHT, and like do it now. Stop. If you've been fearful of addressing something or whatever, we're guided to go ahead and address it. So with the Angel and Animal Tarots, beginning with Major Arcana card 18, the Moon, which represents the sign of Pisces, and could be other water signs too, like Earth's actual moon rules the sign of Cancer. It's important to trust your intuition, even if you're unsure of what's happening. All will be revealed soon, so worry is unnecessary. So this is guiding you to follow any intuitive messages you receive, any guidance, any gut feelings or whatever, even if you're unsure as to why you're feeling them, you're guided to move that way. Also, a water sign may be particularly significant right now. This can also be connected to the Taurus new moon, which just occurred 2 days ago. So that energy is still very strong and prevalent right now. Also, immediately behind it, also upright, is the Seven of Spring. Be assertive, believe in yourself, and don't let anyone take away your personal power. Trust that your inner guidance is true and follow it completely. So both of those cards, you notice that the meanings or what they described in the bottom is very similar. It's saying trust your intuition, trust your inner guidance, follow it completely. Like even if you're unsure as to what's moving forward. And it's true in the tarot, particularly as it relates to love. These two cards do have a similar meaning. So for the moon specifically, it says that this is a very emotional time, right? Water signs or the elements of water is all about love and emotion. So it's a very emotional time too. In romantic relationships, love relationships, very highly charged, and things can quickly get like heated and go left, or become, uncomfortable for you. And so we're guided to, if we need to, when this card shows up, take a break, take a step back, certainly not to make any presumptions or assumptions or judgments, because we could be confused. The moon can be about illusion and confusion. And so you don't want to pop off when you don't know what you're talking about necessarily. If you want to confront somebody, we need to make sure that we have the information, we know what we're talking about, and that we're prepared to have, like an adult conversation and calm conversation. If you're going to fight, fight fair. And maybe you want to decide not to fight. Like I was saying, these cards do go very well together, because this card is about choosing your battles wisely. And that's the same message that comes through with this moon as it relates to love. Like not every fight needs to be fought, but if you feel one does, fight fair. It's important. Definitely pick your battles. Don't be in a hurry to start a relationship right now, or to end one right now with the moon showing up like this. Wait until, again, you're sure, and you're seeing, you have clarity, you're seeing clearly and everything like that. So that's the moon. But since they are so similar, the Seven of Wands specifically as it relates to love says that if you're already in a relationship and you have something about which you want to confront your partner. So like I said, with this one, it could go left. Yeah, it could go left. So choose your battles wisely again. But if you do have something to say that is like legitimate and warranted, and you do know what you're talking about, and you are prepared to have an adult conversation, then you're guided to actually have the conversation with the mate, because it's going to help to strengthen and improve the relationship as you as long as, again, you fight fair, right? We fight fair, we're considerate of each other's feelings, and open to one another's perspective, and it's going to be a real adult conversation, then you should definitely speak your mind and, stand your ground, hold your position, don't be a pushover, all those things that the Seven of Wands normally means. If you're single, and this card shows up and if it relates to love, it can mean that not only are you about to meet somebody, but it's going to be through like a means that's not your typical way of meeting someone, which isn't surprising right now during quarantine for most of us. Some states are partially open in the United States, and other countries may have reopened and things like that. But largely people are still in their houses all over the world. And so maybe you are using some alternate means of meeting people. You're online, you're doing online dating, or you happen to meet somebody while you're standing in line, maybe to get groceries or something, wearing your mask, and you're 6 feet apart, but you start chit-chatting, something like that. It's going to be outside of your normal way of meeting someone, and you are guided to go ahead and try something new. So maybe not your type also. That's another possibility. It could be somebody that's not your typical type, or preference, or however you want to put it. And again, guided to try something new. So just be careful about how you talk to people. Long story short, right? People that you supposedly love and are in a relationship with. And with the Keepers of the Light Oracle, we are beginning with an energy of Isis and magic manifesting. So this is very air sign. It's very Gemini, like magician. Your dreams, visions, and goals are becoming reality. Stay focused. We definitely saw a lot of messages about that in the general reading. And in the general reading, I used this deck as well. And the card with which we began was actually Lord Shiva in Transcendence. And I read a couple of different articles, for lack of a better word, on some of the things that were going on this week in the celestial system, the Jewish or Hebrew religion. And there was this like repeating theme about those with healing abilities being strengthened in that particular regard. And also like an energy because of Pluto retrograde in Capricorn of things being knocked down, destroyed, so that they can be rebuilt better. So that's like Lord Shiva, the destroyer. He comes in, he knocks everything down, and he rebuilds it in a better way. Although this card is about transcendence, which is not the same subject. And what else was a repeating theme? Manifestation. Yeah, manifestation. So not surprised to see those cards there. All right, so we're going to get started. Started. With the dice, we're beginning with massage, buy shoes, and no. And Spirit says, spend money. Romantic dinner. Might have to be e-dinner. Some of my girlfriends and I were talking about having like a virtual cocktail hour, getting together with our drinks, and try again. So I will also try again. Judgment also came up quite a bit, and in not specific to relationships, but in general, one of the meanings of judgment is like second chances, second time around. So it could be try again in terms of a relationship or reaching out to somebody and trying to contact someone. And the answer is yes. So it's a positive affirmation of that too. All right, I'm going to use... Let me use these first. I'll just do... Yeah, you know what? Because I plan on doing another reading after this. So let me do the perspective from the masculine, like I typically do. I was about to do something different. I am going to We're being shown Major Arcana card Strength, card number 11. True strength is displayed through kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. You have tremendous personal power and courage. Major Arcana card Strength represents the sign of Leo most directly, or other fire signs perhaps. I'm just going to stick it in here arbitrarily now because I'm about to mix the cards up anyway, or remix the cards up. Strength was also a theme, very strong theme in the general reading, because we are guided, it seems, to move beyond things that have been holding us back. Like, just scrap everything and start from scratch. So it's very much about letting things go. And in order to do that, sometimes forgiveness is required, not necessarily of other people, sometimes of ourselves, sometimes of both, right? Or we need to seek forgiveness from someone else. So that's important this week. Not that it's not always important. Whenever you need forgiveness, you should seek it. But it's coming through very strong this week. And again, I think the reason for that is because of the transit, some of the transits that we're experiencing. Mercury enters Taurus as well this week. So that's Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, Mercury enters Taurus, and there was another major transit. Pallas, the asteroid, similar to Chiron. Actually, I think Pallas is the second largest asteroid that there is. It was originally believed to have been, a normal planet. It enters Aquarius this week. So that was another thing I read about. Very nice. Look what we're starting off with now. It's the Knight of Water, Knight of Cups. So we couldn't have a better card in terms of love. This one is definitely about meeting somebody new, and he's extremely, romantic, and, sweeps you off your feet. He is Prince Charming. But you know what? I tend to call Prince Charming the Knight of Wands, because I see Prince Charming as that guy that's like to the rescue and, comes and saves the day and saves you. And that's more the Knight of Wands. This is the one that stands under your window and like serenades you. He's romantic. He's loving. And, you can't just wait to run downstairs and leap into his arms, and he's strong enough to hold you. It's that kind of thing. So yeah, look forward to really sensual, emotional, could be highly sexually charged times as well, because both Capricorn and that devil energy, and Pluto, and certainly Scorpios are known for very high sex drives, and just to be very sensual people. The Knight of Cups is also, for me, about reconciliation. It's often about somebody that's returning to your life. Like, even if you didn't date them before, maybe now you will. Somebody's coming back into your life, and so that maybe that's the second time around. Maybe that's the try again. Maybe you never got together before, but now you're about to. It's that sort of thing. Very possible to happen now. Part of my phone, but I do actually feel like when things like that happen, those little dings, and it's just like a reconfirmation and stuff. So maybe if you were doing something on your end in particular, particularly at the time that ding went off, that could have been a message for you. So anybody out there listening. So the Knight of Cups is just an awesome all-around card and guy. He is emotional, romantic, enthusiastic, and contemplative. Also, again, a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Falling in love or wedding proposals, the need to balance emotions, and an invitation to a social event. All those things are possible with the Knight of Cups. So again, we're doing a spread from the perspective of the Divine Masculine, whether you are single, coupled, separated, physically together, whatever's happening, for everybody. Beginning with the energy of the Divine Feminine as told by her higher self, or our collective higher self, and it is the Ace of Winter, the Ace of Swords. Implementation of your brilliant new idea may get off to a rocky start, but keep going. The challenges will help you to reform your plan and to reshape your goals into something even better. So Ace of Swords is a card of victory, brand new starts. It can still be an indication that, yes, you're having a new start, but there may be some like bumps in the road as you move forward, but move forward anyway, like nonetheless, right? It is a new beginning. But the reason it's considered such a card of victory is because it's always comes like on the heels of some difficult period of time coming to an end. So it's like you're victorious because you've made it past that. You succeeded, right? And you beat the odds and all of that. Also, the Ace of Swords is can be about the truth coming out, right? Or cutting through any bullshit or confusion, like maybe with the moon, and getting to the truth of the matter, getting that clarity that we were talking about before. So the masculine as it relates to the feminine, the King of Fire, motivational, idealistic, ambitious and charismatic, focus, 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 communicate with vision and be a leader. Take advice from someone creative. The King of Fire is the quintessential divine masculine of the tarot. He is a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or possibly a Scorpio with Pluto so active right now, as well as Mars. Mars is a ruler, the esoteric ruler of the sign of Scorpio. He is currently located in the sign of Aquarius, and Pluto is the more natural ruler of the sign of Scorpio, and he is currently located in Capricorn and retrograde. So that can be why this is showing up too. Could definitely be connected to this Knight of Cups here. Otherwise, it's a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Doesn't even have to be a fire sign at all. This too, a card that showed up in the general reading. So far, we're repeating quite a bit. The masculine as it relates to himself, his higher self to his lower self, and it's another major arcana card, 11, strength, or strength again. So he may be seeking forgiveness this week. He may be extending some, maybe a little bit of both, but it will be a sign of maturity, emotional and spiritual growth on his part that he's able to do this now, because I'm getting that he wasn't before. Yeah, it's going to require him to soften up a bit, in the most positive sense of the word. Soften up a bit. And, that's what the King of Cups is known for. He is known for balanced masculine and feminine energy. And so that's the kind of feeling I'm getting, and what's causing me to say soften up, because he'll have to be somewhat in touch with his feminine side. Both Pluto and Mars are masculine planets. And so there's a lot of masculine energy, I guess, right now. And he'll still need to be in touch with his feminine side in order to express compassion and forgiveness, and to let go of the past and the harsh judgments that he had been holding, grudges that he had been holding. Again, a Leo may be particularly significant, with major arcana card strength sitting here next to the King of Fire as well. The masculine as it relates to, or his feeling, sentiments on the union or connection as a whole this week. 10 of air. So, you know what? This is perfect. It's like bookends. The Ace of air or swords and the 10 of swords. Because this is what I was talking about. I said the ace shows up at the end of difficulty. Right, so the new beginning comes after the difficulty, and this is an indication of the end of difficulty, the end of a difficult situation. Yeah, embrace the change and expect things to get better now. So we're supposed to be looking forward to them getting better. We're not supposed to be anticipating any more of this difficulty. Only moving ahead. Somebody could be recovering from an addiction too. And I did a client reading recently where I pulled that card for the client, and I felt he's actually a fire sign too, an Aries. I felt that he had gotten over some sort of addiction, and that it may have happened because of quarantine. Some of us may be experiencing this. Like maybe you can't get outside to get your cigarettes, right? Maybe there is no newsstand that's even open to go get them, or, you know, so it's like very difficult to acquire whatever it is that you need for this habit. And so you're just moving on from it. Maybe something that you eat or whatever, or even some sort of toxic relationship. Maybe you've been separated from the person because of what's been going on. And so you're able to move beyond them and things like that. I just felt that. And so maybe some other people are experiencing that. Overall, the 5 of water, womp womp, 5 of cups. This is about pessimism, doubt, disappointment, you know, like in advance, not counting your blessings. So rather than expecting to move forward, what does it say? Embrace the change and expect things to get better. This is like expecting things to remain status quo, or like, oh, nothing good ever happens to me. Like, why should I look forward to it? So definitely be careful of this. Things not turning out the way you'd hoped, not seeing the positive in a situation, and crying over spilled milk. That could also be somebody still holding on to past stuff rather than moving forward. Yeah, I mean, I could move forward, but he did this or she did that. It's like you're still stuck. So be careful of that. What energy the masculine would have the feminine give toward the union or connection this week is 3 of air. So this is dealing with hurt and sadness, and maybe, again, seeking forgiveness or extending forgiveness. Great sadness. Take time to heal. There's a need to forgive yourself or others. Boom. Also, as a reminder, again, in the general reading, do check it out if you haven't already. Again, there were several different things going on in the planet this week, whether it was on, you know, one of the theological calendars or the planetary celestial calendar that were about healing and healers and their or our abilities being strengthened this week. What energy the masculine himself is willing or would like to give to the union or connection this week? It is the 2 of Cups. Well, we should have saw that coming, right? With the Knight of Cups as our overall energy. So the 2 of Cups, very nice. You're falling in love or experiencing a deepening of emotion in your current relationships. Marriages or romantic partnerships in distress can still be saved. Don't give up. What energy would the universe have each or both of us to give to the union or connection this week? And even wants to help us with. The universe wants to help us with this, but we have to first affirm, because we have free will, so we don't have to accept help from the universe. It's a choice, right? It wants to give us abundance. Do you want it? Do you receive it? All right. You can expect a windfall of abundance. This is that Taurus, right? The Taurus moon, the Taurus sun. Like I said, Mercury's now moved into Taurus as well. You can expect a windfall of abundance, such as money, timely assistance, a serendipitous meeting, or rewarding advice. You may be offered a fabulous new job or promotion, or the prospect of a profitable business venture or investment, or a new relationship, or a baby. I mean, sometimes the Ace of Pentacles is about childbirth for me, oddly enough. And the outcome. Look what it is. It's another 3 of Winter, another 3 of Swords, sitting here right next to this one. Sadness is part of life, but you don't have to endure it alone. You may need a little time to heal. So that's what this is really about this week. But once you work your way through the emotions, you will be stronger than before. And so I think that I've already described why this is showing up and what it means, but I will pull the next upright card. Is this yes, it is, because the deck is upright, right? Here it is upright. I'm just turning it around. And so that's the next upright card to clarify further the 3 of Swords. And it's another 2 of Cups. Boom. All right, so you just got to work on this healing. We're going to have to address, like I said, if you have something to say, it's definitely time to say it because of that Seven of Wands. But if you're not sure and you're unclear, that doesn't mean don't have a conversation. If you have an opportunity to have a conversation, it just means don't be presumptuous, don't be intentionally hurtful, don't rush to judgment, don't hold any judgments or grudges. Have an adult conversation. And if you feel like you're not capable of having an adult conversation, although strength showing up says, at least for the masculine, that he can face anything that comes his way this week, you're not capable, then, be adult enough in the conversation to say, I think we better finish this another time because I feel myself, with potentially going left. And I don't want to do that. I want to have a real conversation with you. So let's do it another time. All right. And that's how these Three of Swords are going to be healed by the love and forgiveness of these Twos of Cups. Next spread. All right. So we'll start by sticking these in. Again, very arbitrarily. Don't even have the cards facing me. So I don't know where I'm putting them at all. Right? Putting them face down, just wherever. And I point all this out to you guys because those of you who've been watching for a long time, I used to do every single shuffle, everything cut right in front of you. But it just was time consuming. And so I stopped for a while. And I know there are other people who started, at least to appear, some had been doing it all along, to appear to shuffle and whatnot in front of you. But you have to watch a little bit more carefully. A lot of these people are frauds. There's one woman, very disappointing. She has a much larger channel than me, but she's always stealing from me. Always stealing from me. And it's going on a long time because now she was one of the people who was named when I was named in that, that like libel slander against myself. And there were only like 2 other people named by name. I was named number 1. And there were only like 2 other people named, and she was one of them, maybe like number 2 or number 3. But I'm more, and increasingly, I felt this for a long time, but increasingly I don't feel she was a victim. I feel she was in on it. In any case, her readings, she appears to be thriving on YouTube. So, that's more power to her in that regard in general, if you're doing the right thing. But you'll know, if you watch her readings, you'll notice that her cards are always upright. So if you're really shuffling in front of people and then you lay them out, one day you're going to have a reversal. So the idea is that she's not. She's holding the cards in a particular way and then giving the appearance of, okay, I'm mixing these up. Look at me mixing these up, and then I'm going to, do it so it's all fresh energy, but every card has already been put upright. So it's not genuine. And I didn't give any names because that's not necessary. I'm not here to try to point out anybody in particular. If you figure out who it is, I don't give a damn. But I'm not here to point a finger at anybody in particular, just to open people's eyes to some of the things that go on YouTube with these readings and the fraudulence. So start to pay attention, and you'll notice, yeah, I've been watching you for about 3 years now, and your cards are upright every single time. But you're shuffling. Something's not making sense. And it's because they're not really shuffling. They're just going like this, putting the card. I don't want to mix up my cards now, but they're doing that. But the cards they've already in advance put them all upright. In any case, moving on. We now have a beautiful energy of the Six of Earth. This is one of my favorite cards, the Six of Pentacles. And I think particularly in this deck because it very much illustrates all three of the signs that Venus rules. And so it looks very Venus, and it's very unconditional love for me. So here, of course, very clearly are the scales of balance, and that's Libra, one of the signs that Venus rules. Then down here we have, and around the perimeter, we have all this earth. And it is, in fact, of the element of earth, the card itself. That's Taurus. And then I always say, like, this very scattered looking air and smog in the back is Gemini, right? We're frenzied. Gifts of money, time, or effort. New career opportunities, receiving a loan or paying off debt. So the Six of Pentacles is about assistance coming in. Very like serendipitous, timely, divinely, blessed, like this look at God type of assistance coming in. Whether it is money that finds you just when you need it, a job that finds you just when you need it, a friend that finds you just when you need it, scholarship, a grant, stimulus, your tax refund finally turned up, and it's like the exact time when you needed it most, or love, unconditional love, like somebody just doing you a solid, whether they're somebody you know or they're a stranger, like just because. Like some of us have had people pay it forward for us. Some of us have paid it forward for others. I had a guy pay for all my groceries one time. He kept like coming into my section, and I kept putting his stuff, like, no, this is his, telling the cashier, no, this is his, and pushing his stuff back. But he was doing that so that he could get closer and closer to me so that he could pay. And I was just like, no. And this was something that he wanted to do. He was paying it forward. So definitely prompted me to pay it forward for others, and keep the chain going. But it's stuff like that, I had clients that I would see this card and say, like, something's coming, and then they'll say, oh, like a stranger paid off my layaway or whatever. So it's that sort of thing. But in terms of love and relationship, it's about reciprocity, right? Being on the same page, just really like finding your match and doing things, the ability to give and receive without agenda. Like, I'm doing it because I'm doing it because it's organic and it's genuine, not because I want something from you, not because ego, not because I'm being manipulative. The ability to both give and receive on both sides. All right, so again, this spread is for all, single, partnered, separation, together, whatever the case is, beginning with divine being or couple. So whether you're an individual or you're coupled. And Major Arcana card 11, strength is back, sign of Leo. Great inner strength, release harsh judgments, instead exercise some forgiveness and compassion. So again, this week is about healing, forgiveness, people coming back into our lives unexpectedly, and us, needing to face the music with these people. Recent past. Two of Cups. Some of us may have already received contact, gotten back in touch with somebody or something. Or for others, this could be happening to you earlier in the week. So it becomes your recent past this week. And then later on in the week, we have a different progression. A relationship that continues to grow closer. Forgiveness and the positive resolution of a conflict. How? Through forgiveness, releasing harsh judgments, and compassion. And with strength showing up, we have the strength, we have the wherewithal, the ability to face anything that comes our way and to get through it and to do this. Near future. The King of Autumn, King of Pentacles. He is compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and grounded. Also a Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Everything's going to be great, going to turn out great. Projects will be stunningly successful. Exciting new career opportunities are possible. And money or resources that come your way will be invested wisely. Some sort of divine blessing is coming in. And it may be in the form of an actual earth sign, direct earth sign. Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, but does not have to be. Masculine's higher self. The Eight of Spring, Eight of Wands. You've been, this showed up in the general too. You've been presented with many wonderful opportunities at once. While this may feel very stressful, remember to be grateful for the blessings that heaven sends you. It was also for the masculine in the general reading. Eight of Wands is a card of communication. He could be guided to reach out to you. It's about buzzing, right? Things are buzzing about. It's also about the universe working behind the scenes in our favor, on our behalf. Blocks to individual or shared progress. The King of Air. Brilliant, impartial, professional, and diplomatic. Speak your mind with confidence. Seek out professional advice and balance mental and emotional considerations. The King of Air is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Could be Mercury himself. Again, he enters Taurus this week, and sometimes he can be a pain in the butt. Could even be Venus for that matter, although it's the king. And this, for some people, may have to do with a party of three. Last week in the love reading, I saw a party of three specifically between an air sign, an earth sign, and a water sign. Some of you may recall. So for some, that may be the case. For others, these can be, again, characters, people in our lives, fathers even, father figures, somebody that's some sort of block to your relationship. Or your growth or your movement forward. But more importantly, how can the feminine help herself? What the feminine can do to help herself is think positive. Because what you're doing potentially is bringing these things upon yourself with like self-fulfilling prophecies, manifesting negativity into your own life. So we want to avoid that. Your worries and fears aren't real. They're fueled by focusing on the negative, which gives power to that of which you're afraid. Stop worrying, let go of fear, and everything will be okay. What the masculine can do to help himself is 10 of Spring, 10 of Wands. You're working far too hard, and the stress will soon become too much. Reach out for help from others. Didn't I say the masculine may be reaching out to you? Reach out for help from others. And take some time to play and to enjoy life so that he's encouraged to reach out and to be social. Right? Toward this end, the Two of Water. What the universe would recommend we do to help ourselves, whether we are masculine or feminine, as individuals or as couples. And the universe even wants to help us with this thing. But again, we have to first affirm because we have free will. And it is happiness and love and connection. It's time to express your love and appreciation for family. Be it relatives or chosen family of close friends or your romantic interests, right? Congratulations may be in order on a happy, fulfilling marriage, as well as raising happy and balanced children. So the universe wants to help us maybe to reach out, to find some time to be social and to connect with loved ones and to express our love. Call somebody, tell them you love them, or send them an email like we got with the dice, right? Or write, like that card from Thought with the Ascendant Masters deck in the beginning of the reading. And the outcome here. And it is Major Arcana card 13, release or death. So letting go of some situation from the past and moving on to a new start. It's time to release the past and to move on to something new. This ending is the first step on the way to a happier future. A Major Arcana card, release or death, represents the sign of Scorpio and the planet Pluto. So, which enters, again, Capricorn this week. So that's probably why that's showing up. Also, it could be connected to Taurus and the new moon. And so endings giving way to the new. Let's do it again. Okay, let's see what we got. And it's another 10 and more happiness, security, stability, serenity. Contentment comes from knowing that your finances are secure and your family's material needs are taken care of. It's important to honor traditions and to have pride in your heritage and the accomplishments of your ancestors. This card, when it comes up also for me, can be about like connecting with family members that maybe that we didn't know we had, or that were like sort of long lost, or, you know, learning who your siblings are, your parents are, and things like that. It can be about giving somebody your last name, so maybe getting engaged, or even married or something this week. Advice for each archetype. What was behind it? Oh, just was moved to see what else, what might be upright behind it, and it's the King of Swords again. He is intelligent, impartial, respected, and unemotional. At this time, it's very important that you communicate clearly, so that this is more direction to reach out to people, right? Be objective and unemotional. So it's like stick to the facts and act as professionally as possible. If you need advice, seek out the most experienced expert that you can find. The King of Winter is a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And he's all about saying what you mean and meaning what you say. Further advice to the masculine from the Ascended Masters. Crystals. You may want to work with some crystals this week, maybe in strengthening yourself and preparation for communication, maybe some clear quartz, maybe some rose quartz, you know, with romance and love on the mind. Something like that might be helpful. For the feminine from the Ascended Masters, spiritual law of attraction. So this is about drawing what we desire and or need toward us. So not unlike what Isis is suggesting we do and telling us we're capable of doing this week. Magic is manifesting. More Gemini energy, by the way, again. Magician. For the masculine, from the Keepers of the Light Oracle, Kuan Yin, care and compassion. Isn't this what the Strength card said? Instead of like harsh judgments, exercising compassion, forgiveness, right? Being caring, considerate of one another is one of the things that I talked about. Like when we're addressing different subjects, and if we're not able to do that, then maybe holding off on having the conversation until next week when we have new energy or something like that. Venus is back too. We just had her with the Six of Pentacles and all the signs that she rules. And now we have Lady Venus, downloads and understanding. So this is more air energy too. Again, she rules both the signs of Libra and Gemini, 2 air signs, in addition to the sign of Taurus. Truth is being revealed. Deep insights are coming from heaven and the astral realm. Now that can mean you're going to receive those messages directly from the divine, right? Through some sort of intuitive means or signs or synchronicities or something. Or it can mean that the divine, by way of things like Pluto in Capricorn, again, for example, are moving people in your surroundings, right, in the 3D, to be forthcoming, to address certain issues. That could be how you come into the understanding. And lastly, from the Animal Tarot to the Masculine, it's the Two of Cups again. Y'all saw me, I think 3 or 4 times I shuffled these cards, right? I mixed them up. And I threw every card that came up in the reading back in very arbitrarily and at random. So this is your card. You're falling in love or experiencing a deepening of emotion in your current relationship. Marriages or romantic partnerships in distress. That means even the ones that you might be worried about, like, how can I fix this? It's a mess. Even those can still be saved. Don't give up. Unless it's in your heart to let go of the relationship, then you do that. But if it's in your heart to pursue the relationship, but you've just been avoiding it out of fear or something like that, don't give up. It's time for you guys to reach out. And lastly, feminine, for us, it's time for us to let go of like preconceived notions and fear in advance of anything actually happening, because this is blocking your blessings. This is pushing blessings away. 5 of Pentacles, as it relates to love, for me is all about like fear of commitment, fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, mommy issues, daddy issues. It's just worrying about what you might not have before the time even comes that you might not have it. Very, very destructive. Focusing upon the negative or worrying about money or your career, and it doesn't have to just be money or career. That's what it says in the card, but this applies to relationships too. All of that can block your progress. Because your trust and faith are at a low point right now, it's not the best time to start your own business or to become self-employed or to start a relationship or to end the love reading. Right? I'll be back. I have another reading I want to do. If you like the video, please actually like the video. You're not a subscriber, please consider becoming one, hitting both the subscribe button and the bell button. And we all pray that you get your notifications. Amen. Thanks again. Namaste.